So David Moyes has left Sunderland. I've got mixed emotions about this one. On the one hand, I can't ignore this season. I can't ignore the Wabi Kazri thing. I can't ignore the tactical decisions he's made. I can't ignore the fact some of his comments for the press has been pretty depressing. So on the one hand, on that sense, I'm pretty pleased he's gone. But in general, I'm a bit disappointed that he's left, actually, because... Sorry. I'm a bit disappointed that he's left because I felt something genuinely could have been achieved had he been given the proper time to do something. And that's not me being deluded, by the way. I do actually feel that. Nevertheless, though, it's irrelevant. He's gone. Personally, I would have given him the summer and the start of next season. I'm talking first 10-15 games of next season, not just 3 or 4 matches and then demand him out if we lose the first 2. Saying that, though, you know, I'm glad if we had to change the manager, I'm glad that he's left now rather than, you know, leaving it another month or so, because that would hamper us going into next season, and especially to get out of that tough division, which is the Championship. That's not what we need right now. The bigger question I would say is that, you know, once the hysteria of Moyes resigning has died down, you're going to look at the fact that he's left because there's barely been any money. As far as I'm concerned, why not try and use the £100 million or whatever money we get from this season towards clearing the debt, and whatever money we get from the Pickford and Kone sales, why not use that to try and fund transfers? Obviously, there's nowhere near as simple as that, but that's personally what I would do. Because for me, we need to be aiming to get a squad that will win the league next season, or at least finish in the top 6 or the top 2, whichever. It'd be a catastrophically bad season if we don't get in the playoffs at least. As far as I'm concerned, though, I do feel very angry at the players because I felt like a lot of them have down tools this season, and in my opinion, there's too much player power in the game. I think in that respect, if you're going to just down tools like that, just because you're quote-unquote not motivated by the manager, don't get me wrong, to an extent, I understand that's how football works. And I know that the jobs aren't the same thing, but if I repeatedly didn't try my job because the manager didn't quote-unquote motivate me, does that excuse that? No, it doesn't excuse the players for me for a lack of effort or a lack of trying. You look at Januzaj, quality player in my opinion, but just doesn't have the heart, doesn't try. Barini I thought was better than Downing Tools, apparently not. And then you look at Kone, biggest example of the fact that he's a player who's massively down tools this season. As a team as a whole, if we'd tried throughout the whole campaign consistently, I think we'd have just stayed up by the skin of our teeth, but I do think we'd have stayed up. Because I refuse to believe that squad is worse than a couple of the teams that have stayed up. You know, as far as I'm concerned, it's annoying. There's too much player power and there's not enough player responsibility. I feel in comparison to Moyes, those players are getting off very, very lightly. I mean, apparently Moyes had lost the dressing rooms, and Keith Downey said something along the lines of that he was annoyed they were annoyed at his suggestion they were feigning injuries. Look at Denier and Anichebe against Swansea. Can you really tell me they were that injured that they needed to come off? Look at the whole season. Defoe against Chelsea, I bet you that was a feigning injury. A majority of the players have feigned injury this season, and suddenly imagine how many injuries have cropped up. Come on, man, guys. You should be playing for the badge, man, regardless of what you think of your manager. I know I'm thinking idealistically, but no, I'm sorry. Anyway, guys, I love his and leave his there. Like, who would you want to take over? Personally, likes of Gary Monk. If Leeds are stupid enough to get rid of him, I'd have. Claudio Ranieri got an average Leicester team. No disrespect to them, obviously. In my opinion, to win the Premier League. Or David Wagner if Huddersfield don't go up. We'll have to wait and see, but I love his and leave his there. At least we can move on, but we better get a managerial appointment in quickly because we need to get a good start to next season.